Welcome back to the Bailey Work Channel. In this video I'm going to show you the first stage in remodeling a bathroom in an old Irish manor house. Removing all the old tiles and floorboards and straightening the walls in preparation for new tile and paint and a new bath suite. We're diving in right in the middle of the dirty work. This is a quick guided tour of what I've been up to so far. It's a great mess. We'll come back to this area later. Through this door is the main bathroom. I've taken off a layer of tiles which were extremely difficult to dislodge, a layer of plywood subfloor and a layer of floorboards. This video doesn't really do justice to the amount of effort that went in to removing the old floor tiles and subfloor, which were extremely obstinate and difficult to dislodge.
It's so much fun in here. You wouldn't believe it.
I tackled the removal of the old floorboards in small sections, cutting them with my DeWalt cordless circular saw. Clearly I wasn't careful enough checking for wires underneath because I cut right through one and we lost power. Oops! How perfect that my dad is an electrician amongst many other useful things. It was a quick fix.
Just like that, the light's back. So yeah, I'm going to do the sensible thing and check underneath these boards to see if there is anything under there. Just use my impact driver as a flashlight. And I think we're good to go.
Most of the old floorboard nails pulled right through as the floorboards were coming off, so had to be removed one at a time afterwards.
All cleaned out and ready to go. Tiles all the way up, as you can see there. That will be covered. I'm gonna bring that wall forward a bit. The bath is directly ahead on the left, the shower on the right, toilet right there. Underneath the toilet was an old fireplace, and you can see like a recessed area. It was full of gravel, lime mortar, a thin hearthstone on top.
I guess all of this gravel in conjunction with the hearthstone that you see here means that there would be very little chance of a fire starting if a hot coal fell out of the fire grate. And you can see here where the old fireplace was filled in some time ago. The sink will be over there in that corner. So, the plan was to flatten the floor, which was extremely out of level and had a big dip in it. Sometimes as much as 2 inches difference in the middle of the floor from where it meets the outside walls. A few years ago we did a much less invasive job where we reinstalled the shower tray and replaced the old tiles which were compromised low down with white PVC panels. You can see in these pictures just how badly the floor slopes, and I had to use a lot of cement underneath the shower tray to level it.
As usual, I've run out of room to put things. As you can see, the floor continues through here into this small bathroom. It's just wickedly out of level. And then back over here to the point where you see this arch in the wall here. And that's where I'm going to go from. This was all one big room. In here is the airing cupboard. We're going to leave that alone.
Thankfully, the tiles and subfloor in the small WC were much easier to remove.
Oh yeah, much better. Right, let's have a look at that floor, see how level it is. Yep, it's level.
The truth is, it wasn't level at all. About 1.5 inches or 38 millimeters out of level, over 6 feet. All of the old floors in this house are bowing to some extent, just not to this crazy kind of level. And now that the floorboards were up, we could see one big reason why the floor could be so ridiculously out of level. The main issue is pretty clear. Some builder in the days of yore must have opened up the floor and found rot at the end of the joists as they entered the wall under the window. Whoever did the work, like me, didn't want to disturb things too much, so they cut the joists and bolted a new piece beside the original joist. The only problem is the overlap is only 2 feet or less, and the bolts that they used are only about 12 inches apart or less, and there was slop in them and they were loose. So essentially the joists were hinging a little bit at that point, which explains why the floor was so bad. Unfortunately for me, there's not really much I can do about it now without taking the ceiling apart downstairs, which I can't really do because it's a functioning room in somebody's home. And there's way too much plumbing, wiring, blocking, and new walls to prevent me from adding anything the full length of the joists from above. What I can do, and have done, is tighten all of the bolts and move on. So there's the longer section of all of the joists, and the room is cleaned out, ready for me to start leveling things. My plan was to screw new 2x4s alongside each joist to bring things up to level, using my trusty DeWalt laser level to help me get everything right. I chose 2x4s versus anything bigger so that it wouldn't add too much extra weight. The joists are already strong enough themselves. The plan worked well, but the job was very time consuming because of all the blocking, plumbing, wires, and walls that I encountered on the way.
This is my first joist for leveling the floor, so we'll see how it goes. I haven't videoed much of the process here of raising the level of the floor to level because it is mayhem in here. About as level as you're going to get today. The small lobby where you walk into both bathrooms was the lowest point in the floor thanks to the issue with the joists. So we were able to run the 2x4s flatways on top of the joists, which locked everything in nicely, which is good because it will be the most walked on area. You can see that the plumbing is in for the new shower and the joists are ready for plywood.
Installing the plywood was plain sailing after all the hard work that had gone into leveling the floor before that. We used 3/4 inch marine grade plywood which holds up to moisture very well and is much hardier than some of the other plywood that is available at a cheaper price. Once it was installed, everything felt wonderfully flat and solid after walking around on old joists for a couple of days. The next job was straightening sections of the walls. The 2 newer walls where the big room had been subdivided previously were pretty good and only needed a layer of plasterboard to make finishing easier. But the other 2 walls were the old original exterior walls, and neither square to the rest of the room or plumb. So we used an assortment of battens and shims to address this, and once the new plasterboard was in place, hey presto, it was like a brand new room. I did all of the plastering using the American method of drywalling, which is what I learned. Now we had a room ready for tile, paint, and all of the things that make a bathroom a bathroom. Although this kind of work can be a real ordeal, it's very rewarding when you get to this stage of the job. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video where you can see the tile going on.